rotating chair this morning.
Good to see you, Billy.
Thanks. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Talk some basketball, if you don't mind.
I thought we were talking NFL.
We could talk NFL.
No,
We could talk UFC. You pick a sport. I'm sure my man Nick will talk about it, and I'll be back in 10 minutes. A question I ask of you, America: is it ever unwise to bet against LeBron? At least let him not get to the finals 1 year before you do that, please. But there are whispers of turmoil, of dissatisfaction, and of wonder about this team after losing 9 of their last 12 games. Now, off the court, according to multiple reports, several prominent players are doubting the Cavs' title chances this season. Billy, if you were a GM again, how would you approach the strife that's going on in Cleveland and in this locker room?
Well, one, I would start by talking to LeBron and just have a conversation.
Okay.
Get his thoughts on the team. What do you think is wrong? What do you think is right? How are you feeling? Are you healthy? And then I would talk to other players. I think you've got to get a pulse of what the players are feeling. Are they confident? Because when a story comes out like that, you want to try to get a sense of talking to them. And you sort of can get an idea who the person is talking. And you got to try to get rid of that, because those are the distractions that are going to bring the team down. So I used to love to have breakfast where the players ate breakfast, sometimes have lunch, and just be around them, because you can watch their moods. If you can get to know your players, you know if a guy's coming in who's normally jovial, who's not, then you know something's wrong. So you try to get a feel for them. Then you meet with the coach and just say, what are your thoughts? What is the pulse of the team? But ultimately, you've got to look at the roster and say, how do I improve this roster? You got to look at the players 7, 8, 9, 10. What can I get for those guys? You know, maybe it's a Jay Crowder to get a piece. You know, you got to see what's available, because there are teams that aren't going to make the playoffs that are going to be looking to move some guys. And Cleveland's a team that can take in salary. They do have that pick with Brooklyn. I would not move that pick, because if LeBron, those guys leave, you're going to need it. I'd only move that pick if you're going to get a franchise-type player that can come and help you.
The guy that before the season, people, myself included, had circled when, it looked like the Brooklyn pick was going to be better than it looks like it's going to be, and B, when it looked like the Pelicans were going to be worse than they are, was Boogie Cousins. Yeah. That if the Pelicans were going to be out of the playoffs again, Boogie's on the last year of his deal, then maybe that's a trade, but now that trade doesn't exist. First of all, the Brooklyn pick right now would be 7th. Second of all, the Pelicans are in the playoffs. They're not going to trade away Boogie Cousins. I'd be shocked if they did. So then, what franchise-altering players are really available out there? There's not many. I mean, I don't know your thoughts on DeAndre Jordan. I know that trade seems to exist. I don't know if you'd include the Brooklyn pick to get him.
I probably wouldn't, because of the fact he's a free agent at the end of the year. You know you're not supposed to, but you'll have an idea if he's going to re-sign. But that's the guy, if they could try to get him, because it shores up their defense. And now you got a guy back there that's rebounding the basketball, blocking shots, so it helps their defense, and maybe makes so you can play more offensive guys out there, because you're going to have to play Isaiah Thomas. You're going to play LeBron. You're going to play Korver. You're going to play the guys that aren't that great of a defensive player, and then LeBron take him on the side. If you can get a DeAndre Jordan back there now defensively, go ahead and drive back there, because he's going to block the shots. You can get the rebound. So to me, that's the piece I'll be trying to focus on, but I would not try to use that Brooklyn pick to do that.
Okay, well, when you sit down for your breakfast with LeBron, would you also ask him once and for all if he would just tell you what he's going to do at the end of the season, so that maybe you would know what to do with that pick? Because I'm sure LeBron would tell you, hey, let's make the team better right now, and I'm sure that puts any GM in a difficult position.
It does, and he's not going to tell you that. But the one thing you
buy him more breakfast.
Buy more breakfast, by mistake in it, maybe.
Something.
But the thing about it, he's going to look at the end of the season. Do I have a chance to win here? Are we going forward? That's what's going to come down to are we a team that can win going forward? If not, then he's probably going to leave.
Well, Billy, you tell me if you disagree here. One of the reasons LeBron wouldn't answer that question is because LeBron doesn't know the answer to that question. Like, LeBron might be leaning one way or the other. I had someone I really trust in the league say that they think not the Cavs, not the Lakers, but Houston right now is the favorite. That's an interesting. Go ahead.
Well, no, because everybody says that, but I don't know. I mean, Houston's got to do. They've got to move a lot of pieces.
Got to move a lot of
create
pieces.
The space, and I don't see that happening.
But regardless, I say that. Go ahead.
And the reason I also. Now you take a ball-dominant LeBron.
3 ball-dominant
Chris
players.
Paul, all those guys.
And James Harden.
Yes, I just don't.
Whatever it is, my point is, LeBron can't answer that question because he doesn't know.
Exactly.
I'm sure he knows which way he's leaning. But I also am sure, let's say he is, you know what, I want to stay in Cleveland forever. This is where I want to be. Let's say they play the Celtics in the 2nd round. I don't think this will happen. And they lose in 5 games. Yeah. And I bet he's like, okay, I can't stay here forever. Maybe he's like, I have to leave. Like, say they play the Warriors in the finals and win again. Then I bet that. So he doesn't yet know what he's doing. You mentioned potential trade pieces, and you mentioned a specific name, Jay Crowder. That was a guy they picked up they thought was going to be a key piece of the Kyrie Irving trade. He can guard Kevin Durant. Well, nobody really can guard Kevin Durant.
He can slow him down.
He can slow him down. He can hit three-pointers. That has not worked out.
Yeah.
And I can't, as Cece would say if you were here, Nick, you can't prove this. I can't prove this, but I have strong reason to believe the story that came out last week of a Cavs player saying LeBron is hunting assists. If you go down the list, it sure seemed like it came from Jay Crowder. He doesn't seem happy. He hasn't seemed to be a fit, and he hasn't gotten they haven't gotten the production out of him that they would want. But other teams might think, okay, he could work for us. Tristan Thompson is a player that was valuable for the Cavs, doesn't seem as valuable anymore. He's a guy that people could say, okay, he could work for us, and he's on, oddly enough, somewhat of a team-friendly deal with the new cap. And while, Billy, you wouldn't trade the Brooklyn pick, the Cavs can trade their own draft pick, and you'd, I assume, have no problem trading that.
Yeah, because it's going to be down low. But those are the pieces you got to look at. And they do fit for other teams because they are veterans. They can defend. They can rebound. And teams are looking for that for the playoffs. So I like those pieces to move. I just don't, I don't know. Like Jay Crowder, I thought he was the great piece for them.
Me too.
Defend, score. I think he had great confidence playing for Brad Stevens in Boston. Now just the offense, it's a different offense in Cleveland than it was in Boston, and I think he hasn't found his rhythm.
He hasn't found his rhythm at all, Coach.
Billy, are you worried about this Cavs team now? Because we go back and forth. Well, he's never worried about it. But CC and I go back and forth on whether it's time to worry after ripping off that great stretch they had a few months ago. The couple of months ago, the last couple of weeks have been downright awful for them.
I'm not worried until I see Isaiah Thomas play like 20 games. Get his legs on him, see how he fits in with the team. And I don't worry, when you have veteran guys that had him like we had him in Brooklyn, somehow after January, it kicks in for them. When they get close to All-Star game, you start realizing, okay, the playoffs are coming. There's not as many games. They dial it in more. So I don't worry as much. I just like to see the Isaiah Thomas, how they're going to use him, because that's going to be a big factor. When they traded for Kyle Korver, I didn't think they used him right throughout the end.
Right.
By the end, they figured it out. So I want to see how they incorporate Isaiah Thomas into the offense, and I do think they got to make a couple tweaks to help this roster.
All right, Coach.
Thank you so much for hanging
Billy,
out.
thank you so much. If you want to coach, you coach. That makes it easier for when I. All right, thank you. Here, Coach. Coming up, does Nick Foles have a chance against the Vikings' top-ranked defense? We'll go back to some football next on First Things First.